All right, welcome back, Sid. As you must have noticed by now, this city is full of entertaining people, talented people. It's crazy the amount of talent that we have in the city of Ottawa here. He's an author and he's a local guy, Michel Weatherall. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good to have you here. But you are local. Which part of town are you from?
I live in Canada.
Canada, okay. Have you been there your whole life? Did you grow up in Canada?
No, actually, it's funny, I had the woman on earlier with, I was a base brat.
Oh, really?
My dad was in the forces, and I can relate to that. We moved around. I lived in Europe for a while. I lived in Saverne, France, and in Germany. Lahr and Baden-Baden for a while. But
perhaps we need to get you into that publication, get you more promotion for these amazing books.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, so you've written 4 books.
That's right.
Let's go back. The first book?
The first book, The Symbiote.
Okay.
They're all, well, the first three are fiction. They're horror. They're not horror in the sense of like splatter or gore. They're more of cerebral horror. Mm-hmm. And in The Symbiote, the main character is a master pianist. He's kind of jaded with music today. He's looking for something. He believes there's something more than what we have.
Right.
He comes across a very old piece of music, and he traces his composer's ancestry to a woman in England. I'm not giving too much away because this is the opening chapter. This is the event that triggers everything in the whole trilogy. When they figure out the piece of music and play it, they find out it wasn't a piece of music that was lost from history. It was removed from history, and it opens up a portal outside of a universe and lets something out that shouldn't have been.
Okay.
Now, in this first book, they allude to these clandestine military and government organizations that are aware, but you don't really come across them. In this initial event, he loses his wife. Now, the main character's motive in the first book is trying to find her. He never gets to do that because of the consequences of what happens. The sequel, this hunt, Symbiosis, follows up with his wife's story. And what happens with this one is we come face to face with these other organizations. They are alive and well. The Japanese destroyer, the Yamayuki, features in it, and things begin to escalate. Mm-hmm. And the second book, it primarily takes place in Tokyo, Japan, and Montreal. And in the third one, Necropolis, I don't want to say a lot about Necropolis. It's significantly larger than the other ones. It takes place in ancient Egypt in a 1925 archaeological dig and now. And it jumps back and forth between those 3 storylines and brings it to a conclusion.
Very good. And I've seen you've also written a poetry book.
That's right. There's a smaller piece I have called The Dark Corner of My Soul.
And how would you describe your poetry?
It's contrary to some of the guests you had earlier today. It's not uplifting. It's not. It's
the
dark.
dark corner of my soul with a terrifying skull on the front, as you see here. Yeah, I can imagine.
It definitely isn't a happy poetry.
No, it is dark poetry. It's a collection of stuff I had written quite a long time ago from a really, really dark time. Okay. And
yes, it's very Michel. In Beelzebub's filthy house, they'll kill your family, they'll kill your spouse. Happiness. So there you go. Continue.
Happy,
sorry
joy,
to cut
joy.
you off.
No, that's okay. No, I find the funny thing is when I first decided to put them out, the Symbiote was the first one out. There's this kind of this fear, this oh crap moment when you drop off copies at a store and you realize this is out, and this is live, this is real.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, it's I don't want to knock my own work down, but it's fiction. It's just writing. It's not real. But when you get to poetry and stuff like that, you kind of feel to the point like you're revealing yourself to a world of strangers. You know.
Mm-hmm. Now, Michel, tell us. Are these self-published?
They are, yes.
It's a very difficult business, the publishing business.
It can be.
I used to have, I knew a little about it because in my old education days, I was a character in 3 books with Simon & Schuster.
Okay.
So the author was very lucky to have such a large, well-known publishing company. Mm-hmm. But what I love about so many publishers is you can't depend on these companies. So your heart and your passions for writing, you do it yourself, right?
Oh, that's right, yeah. And that is a bonus with this. When you are self-published, there are clearly there are downsides because you don't have the scale and everything else. But the other side of it is you're not answering anybody. You're doing what you want.
That's right.
And you know that could be a disaster. It could be a good thing depending on what people like and what they see. But
are you traveling a lot?
For this? No, I have. Like I've lived in several places around, you know, and I've lived in Europe. A couple summers ago, we had done a tour throughout the Mediterranean as well. Not for the book, just my family.
No, for the book, are you trying?
No. Normally I'm just doing Ottawa right now, just keeping local.
And you've got some dates coming up as well that where people can meet you and get copies of the book.
Yeah, last Saturday I was at Chapters in Canada. It's kind of after the fact, but the books are still there.
Right.
On the Friday the 29th of July, I am at the Authors Market and the Byward Market.
Okay.
And this is a thing the city is promoting in the Byward Market. You get little kiosks like the vendors, and it's a fantastic idea. Usually it's between 1 to 4 authors are there.
Have you
Yeah.
seen that?
No, I haven't actually.
On my way when I'm going into work, I always pass it. So there's all these new authors every week.
Yeah.
There's somebody different. It's a great concept.
Oh, it is a great idea. It's fantastic.
And it's great to have the city behind you, because the picture we just showed, Councillor Alan Hubely was with you. So it's nice to have the backing of.
That's right.
the
Well,
city.
on the synopsis in the back of the first book,
There he is.
his son had written the synopsis on it.
Really?
And we had spoken about the idea of donating some of those to high school libraries. And he had asked if I thought they were appropriate. And I'm not the guy to ask for that. Of course they're appropriate. And he had his son read it. And I gave him a little bit of homework on top of that. I said, put together a little synopsis. And he did a fantastic job.
That's great.
Going on the back of the cover. So.
That is wonderful. Of course.
What's your website? So
Yeah.
people could look.
Oh, it's easier to Google my name, Michel Weatherall, and Wix. Wix.
Okay.
He's the first one listed, and that's the simplest way to find the website. I'm on most of the social medias, and
Well, there you go.
I'm
Michel
out there.
Weatherall. 4 books to choose from, which is very cool. And go check them out at an event coming up, and then you can get a signed copy. Very
absolutely.
cool. Thank you so much, Michel. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Michel.
Coming up, she is a familiar face with Daytime Ottawa, Mary Cianciabello. I hope I said that right. I have trouble saying her name for some reason. We've got some more fashions coming up next. I believe they're even fashioning me up, if that's a word. We'll see what happens next on Daytime Ottawa.